Hello, I'm Danielle and I'm here with my friend Mark. And he wrote a book named Refugee Reimagined with his brother that has just been really formative for our leadership team and for our community as we think about what it means to welcome refugees. So Mark, can you tell us a little bit about what you've learned from the biblical narrative about what it means to welcome the stranger?
The Bible, both the Old and the New Testaments, is nourishing God's people to embrace outsiders, to embrace vulnerable people who are seeking a home as family, as kin, to offer sort of protective belonging for people who are on the move, seeking a home. And one place we could go is the Old Testament. Let's go there first. There's a beautiful text, a beautiful image in Deuteronomy 16 of a feast. It's a feasting text, Deuteronomy 16. God's people are invited to worship in the context of feasting, and everyone is invited. The household is invited to come to the place of worship with the stranger and the fatherless and the widow. Everyone is there. The stranger is emphatically there. The stranger is mentioned twice in this text. And God's people feast here before the Lord. They kill the fattened calf, there's wine, there's celebration, and they're really becoming family before the Lord. And this is Old Testament worship. This is coming before the Lord in the Old Testament. It's a picture of becoming family together there in the presence of God. And this, I think, is how we're to understand this a biblical call to welcome people who are on the move, to enfold them as family, to offer a place of belonging, as Open Homes Hamilton does for refugees. This picture of a feast, feasting together as family before the Lord, enfolding people who are seeking a home as our kin.
That's great. And of course, Jesus is our best example of what it looks like to live under God's call. Can you tell us a bit about how this shows up in the life of Jesus, how you see him feasting with all manner of people?
In the New Testament, we encounter Jesus. And Jesus comes as the Messiah, or the King of Israel. Jesus sort of comes as the answer or the fulfillment of that Old Testament story that we've just been talking about. So it's not surprising that in the Gospels we see Jesus himself feasting. I don't know if you've read the Gospels, you may have, you may not have, but you'll encounter Jesus doing a lot of eating. Some people have said that Jesus does more eating than he does teaching in the Gospels, and I think that may be true. Jesus was infamous for his eating, and people, the Jewish elite in the first century, were outraged at who Jesus ate with. There's one place in the Bible, Luke 15:1 and 2, where the Jewish leaders, furious at Jesus, says, "This man eats with sinners and tax collectors, befriends sinners and tax collectors and eats with them." And of course, in the Gospel, just like in the Old Testament, we become family with those we eat with. And Jesus was becoming family, becoming kin with sinners and tax collectors, with all the so-called wrong people in the eyes of the first century world. But in the eyes of the kingdom of God, these are the right people. These are the people that Jesus became family with. So Jesus was sharing table and forging kinship with at table, becoming family with outsiders in this first century context. This is a very evocative image, I think, for us today, for communities today, for the church today and beyond. How can we be communities that offer a place of belonging, that extend kinship to people who are on the move? As newcomers arrive in Canada, how can we be a place where people can be enfolded and have that kind of protective solidarity that family can bring? How can we perhaps follow in the footsteps of Christ, if you will, and be a place of protection and of support and provide a place for a meaningful life for newcomers as they arrive in Canada? So I think that Open Home Hamilton's vision of offering communities of belonging for newcomers is just beautiful, and certainly just a beautiful example of how the Bible can be. We can live into the biblical story today and follow in the way of Christ.
Thank you, Mark. That really helps to frame it for us and give us a good foundation to do this feasting and this welcome. So thanks for sharing that.